Hello and welcome back. This video I thought I would introduce you to my 1998 ZX2R, or people know it as the ZXR250, but this is her. So a little bit of background on this bike. I have owned it for 6 years now. I rode it for 2 years before it unfortunately got T-boned with me on top of it. Before it looked like this, it was the silver livery with the carbon fiber pattern. I have the Yoshimura exhaust on it, which makes it sound so much nicer. I still have stock indicators, stock mirrors, pretty much stock everything. I've got the adjustable levers just so I can reach. But after I was in the accident, I did a lot of work on it to make it more OEM plus and just a nice bike. So I reupholstered the seats myself, wrapped it, put a new livery on it, like new stickers and everything. Tried to find all the OEM parts that got broken, which is very difficult. So these tubes are no longer manufactured. Anyone who owns one of these knows that you can no longer find these. So these are two left side tubes because that's all I could find, and I kind of makeshift fit them to the bike. So all these do, they're not actually ram air intake, they just channel air underneath the tank and into the electronic system to keep it cool. So they do have a purpose and probably useful having them, but it's not a necessity to keep the bike running. But yes, it's been sitting for the last year, I think, so it's a bit worse for wear. It's been underneath this tree for a little bit. I just haven't had motivation to move it or kind of do anything with it. I did register at mid-2025 for some friends to ride, so it did get back out on the road again. Ride's good. Nice to know that everything I did works. So it's got completely new front rotors. They cost me $250 a pop because you cannot buy them anywhere. That was a bit of a sting. But yes, today I'll give you a little bit of backstory while I clean it and show some clips of when I used to ride, how it used to ride. This is by far the best sounding bike in my opinion. So some of my favourite facts about this bike: it revs to 19,000 RPM. This one is a Malaysian spec import, and you can tell that by the tacho because it goes up to 240. The other imports I think go to, I don't know, I just know mine is Malaysian. The front tyre is a 17 inch and the rear tyre is an 18 inch. Benefit of that is handling on track. So this bike was imported into Australia in 2001, so it's registered as 2001 because our government doesn't know how to do grey import without doing the actual manufacturing date of the bike. But it was in 1998 manufacture date. So with these bikes, you've got the A and C model, which are the most popular. So the A model has the two front headlights, and the C model has the big single. I prefer the big single, but doesn't matter. Does it look like I'm peeing? So as I showed you earlier with the crash, I was driving along, he pulled out, I looked at him, saw him, I took an evasive maneuver to go kind of onto the other side of the road and avoid him, and he just kept going, didn't even care that I was there. So the bike basically hit him and then dropped, didn't slide or anything. I flew over the top of the bike and landed on his car or something, I'm not too sure. But what to take away from this is the bike did not slide, so the fairing just would have probably cracked or, yeah, it wouldn't have ripped off. Unfortunately, in Queensland, we have a towing company that rhymes with Teddy, who doesn't seem to respect vehicles in crashes when they tow them. So as I was showing these photos, so obviously the bike dropped on its right side. I flew over whatever the heck happened. The bystander's picking it up, then pasted on the side of the road. The second photo that someone took was of the ambulance there, and you can see the left side fairing of the bike. Obviously the bike didn't drop on the left side, but these left side fairings are still intact because they were fairings that were intact. When I went to go pick up the bike, this is what it looked like. So somehow between the bike getting pulled off the side of the road and this last photo being taken and the tow company picking it up and dropping it off to a place where I didn't ask for it to be dropped off to, they completely destroyed a fairing. And these bikes are rare enough, they're very hard to get fairings when you so not only was the fairing damaged, the clutch lever was also damaged, the clutch cable was also stretched, the mounting brackets for the fairing was also damaged, the peg was damaged, there's like these little mesh bits that go between the fairing and the chassis that was damaged, and you can't get that anymore. The pipes that I showed earlier on were also damaged. You can't get them anymore. So it came from a simple, like, we'll say a bike drop accident. The drop of the bike would just crack the fairings. It wouldn't have caused all this other damage to happen because it didn't slide, it didn't do anything. So anyways, I really wanted to keep the bike. It's my bike, so I ended up paying to get the bike back. And once I got it back and saw it, I realized that they had damaged it more in their hoarding yard. And because Australia is the way they are, they do not protect the innocent person, they protect the bad people. So the tow company, who I said, hey, drop the bike off at my house, it's like a meter around the corner, it was a minute around the corner. They didn't do that, they took it to the yard, so they didn't get in trouble. I had to pay everything out of that. And then the person who hit me as well just got off with a warning because it's an accident to not look left and right at a give way sign. Yeah. So unfortunately, the bike repair took a lot longer than anticipated. One, I wasn't really motivated to do it once I got the bike back, and seeing how much more damage had occurred that I didn't actually do. And then when I was fixing the bike or riding the bike, I didn't really post on Instagram. I had no interest in having people know about my life too much. Posted a bit here and there, but I wasn't like an influencer, so I didn't record as an influencer would, which I kind of regret now because I want more content of what I did. So that is the general backstory of the bike and how it got to where it got. The next few clips we will just go through when I first got the bike, riding it, some of my favorite sound clips, and then kind of where it is now. I've had my friends ride the bike, so I've got to enjoy it through them in a way. But yeah, the next few clips will just be of that, and I will stop talking. So after figuring out why the bike wasn't turning over after the crash, getting all the oil out of the air filter, because bikes aren't meant to be skull dragged, servicing the carbs, reupholstering the seats, fitting the new rare parts that you can't find anywhere, wrapping it, and ensuring my little cat dent here was left on full display, I finally got to admire it. So it took a while and a few different sticker sets to figure out what kind of look I wanted. I knew I wanted this blue, but the fairings are so big and bulky, it looks a bit odd. So I'm very happy with where I've landed now, printing out my own stickers. And here are just a few more sound clips from after it was rebuilt. And again, thank you all for watching to the end. I really appreciate the interaction, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you on the next one. Much love, King.